Okay, so we're on a Wednesday night call. We're going over our date structure. And the coolest thing about all this stuff is there's just literally so many resources on it, almost too many resources on it. And I want to make it usable for people who are interested in it. So we had a question about dating and how we set that up. And here you see uh, this beautiful, beautiful layout. Where this actually is if you are on the membership page. And so this is the membership page for kind of everybody, or when you pay the monthly fee and you're not on TSL Online. TSL Online is a more complex or obviously a bigger course on the membership page. But here on this membership page, there's a bunch of stuff. And under featured webinars, there's a page where you can go where you can access the library. And we really have like a ton of things here or a ton of webinars to choose from, and you can download the slides and whatnot. And they really like go through a lot of cool stuff. But the second one in the mix, and this gets updated all the time, is the date guide. But here you can see cold reading. Man, that's a good one. That's Jesus Christ, dude. Changing beliefs. This is also a good one. I always want to bring this up to guys who are on the Austin Men's Development Board. But the date guide, here we are, and the porn one, which is also awesome. But there's just I think there's 18 different webinars that we have, and there will soon be much more because of all the 21 convention speech stuff. But here, just we click on this beautiful thing, 49 minutes long, and what we do is we cover this PDF here. This PDF is the 3 no money dating templates that will get you laid. And it basically covers 3 templates, which you can do on a date. There's some written stuff there that you should probably read, but they're just super easy to do, right? They don't cost any money to set up. Well, one of them costs about $2, and you will need some gas money, but the things where money is not the emphasis. And they're literally, I mean, man, you could do the photo adventure without any money. You could totally do it without any fucking money. So, and Jason Savage, who created this one, used to do it with no money. So it's pretty awesome, man. Basically, this is one of those things, and the whole goal of being on a date with somebody is really to be able to connect with them more. And if you're looking to be sexual as a man, to get laid. All right. So there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to be a manipulative, secretive asshole to have sex. This woman probably wants to have good sex too. She just wants to be respected as a human being, and to give her sexuality to you as a man, you need to work for those things. So your date is set up for that. So let's actually take a step back. And before we get into all this date guide stuff, what I want to do is just break this down, right? This is very, very important for you guys. And this is like the most masculine way to look at it. A lot of things that we talk about at TSL are not always the most masculine thing. They wind into all these like crazy emotional loops. On your date, your structure is super important. All right. You just need to keep it to the structure. All right. If you are just starting out at this, pick 3 locations. Your first one is where you meet. All right. And this represents just meeting, in the fun and the excitement and the casualness of just meeting. The second one should involve something that is a little bit more intimate, all right, and getting to know them on a personal level, but it's the second location, right? It's the second thing that you do. The third should represent your goal in it, and that should be like how you really get to know them. So if that is emotional, that's emotional. If that's sexual, that's sexual. If it's both, it's both. But your third location, or the third thing that you do, really represents that. Now, also, let's think of it this way. A date has nothing to do with status. All people want to do on a date is get to know you and have some fun and have it be an enjoyable experience where they don't have to think too much. They don't have to fumble around with not knowing stuff. I mean, the typical thing, like Maria's like, well, what do you want to do tonight? And so, well, I don't know. I don't know. On a date, the first time you're with somebody, second, third, fourth time, you can't do that shit. All right. When you get married and stuff, you run out of ideas. But you shouldn't do it then either, right? Because it's the worst thing. That's sort of like indecision. And how that indecision gets read by a woman is like, well, you didn't care about me. All right. So a lot of guys think, well, I need to spend a lot of money. I need to do all these different things. I need to, woo her with all that stuff. And that stuff can all be great and be the way to go if it is fun and exciting and it's carefree. And man, people don't have to worry about being bored or any shit like that. And it's just a good time. All right. Human beings, when you don't know each other, it's such an easy mix to build that good time. Now, as a man, also what you need to realize is it needs to lead in the direction of what you want. If you're looking to get laid, then it is your job to give her the choice and opportunity to show that side of her. All right, that's it, man. It's fucking awesome, and it's super easy to do. It's badass. You don't have to be like a lying asshole to do it. Like, it's so great. So that's what these dates really set up. They are set up for that. Okay, it's very, very, very important. So basically, template one, and by all means, watch the webinar on this. It's really the way to go to get to know it. But template one is the photo adventure. This was Jason Savage's thing. He did it all over Austin. But you need a camera. It could be your iPhone. Doesn't matter. You can post the stuff on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is. You need a few cool locations and a place where you could close. And what I mean by close is have sex. This isn't like close and, you know, I'm getting a number, or I guess you already got the number, but it's actually close and like get laid. All right. So basically the basic idea is this is like, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to go on like a little scavenger hunt. We're going to go on like this crazy, crazy photo adventure. It's going to be awesome. All right. And so you just pick 3 or 4 places, and it's so cool because you're not only are you going to multiple places, right? But you're driving, you're spending time in the car, you're walking somewhere. It's like, I'm going to take a picture in front of the I love you so much sign. We're going to go take a picture in front of the Stevie Ray Vaughan statue. We're going to take a picture in front of the Cathedral of Junk, which is now closed, Castle Hill, whatever, all these different places. We're going to go there and it's going to be so much fun and da da da. Or let's say you're in another part of the city, you pick whatever is cool, right? And we're going to go and do these things. Now, here is the thing. What is very important if you're going like, man, I don't have any cool places. Start picking some places that have some meaning to you. And this is super important. There's augmentations that, I mean, this is just the baseline skeleton, but people have been doing this for years. So there's all these augmentations that work very well and that work maybe even better than this layout. But one of them is that you go to places that you actually care about, all right, that have meaning to you. One of the augmentations of this was just you go to one place. You say, man, this is one of my favorite places in Austin or Dallas or Fort Worth or Hawaii or wherever, right? Wherever you live. He says, this is one of my favorite places. And I just want to take you here because it just has a good feeling, and it makes me, I don't know, it makes me either see the best of you or to know if this is not going to work or whatever. But no, it's cool. Like I dig it. And then you can move on to different ways to get the kiss or move up the ladder sexually, which usually how we teach this, and I just want to point this out, a couple of resources for you if you're not familiar with this. Number one, there's this, obviously the webinar, right? The webinar page for the date guide, but also this Formula 69, which is awesome, just awesome. But how we break down in Formula 69 is it's basically like if I can get rapport, I can get a date. If I can get a date, I can get a kiss. And if I can get a kiss, I can close it. All right. And it's broken down all in that way. And this is also on the members area. So if you can get the date, this is how you get the date right here. And then it goes like, oh, and then this is how we get the kiss. And so what we would do in that one scenario, the photo adventure thing is we would go to one location, be like, man, this place is really special. And it means a lot to me. And I'd say why it means a lot to me. And then I'd talk to him and say, no, man, it's just I wanted to see how you were. I think you like me, and I know I like you. And what would happen if we kissed right now? Actually, in Formula 69, I break down a little bit different way, but more the reason to watch it, okay? Now, there's another one here, this dating template, which is the pre-date. And this actually came out of man, Jesus Christ, not Dallas, Texas, but Grand Prairie, Texas. What a horrible existence of life, because that's where my the guy who taught me this lived, CJ. So basically super simple. He always wanted to get laid. Very, very efficient. I mean, it's just almost like this is like the lazy man's thing to do, right? Or no, I'm sorry, I totally fucked up. This is the lazy man's, the third one. See, I'm skipping all around, more the reason to watch this. But the lazy man's is Jason's, and it came out of Grand Prairie, and this is what he would do. So he would basically get a date with a girl. He'd meet her at a bar. And very simply, he was like, man, I want her to be at my house, so I don't want to go and meet her at the bar. So he'd make a date to meet her at the bar, and then he'd call beforehand. And this was really before text messaging was a thing. And he'd say like, hey, I got a lot of work. I'm waiting on an important call, and I have to be in front of my computer before I do it, or before, like I can free myself up for the night. Can we just like meet at my house? And if I get that call, like it's all good. We can go out to wherever we were planning to go. And so he would basically set that up. And it was just like such an awesome thing for just to get at his house. Now, again, this isn't the 3 locations. CJ was a super, super efficient guy, and he just, man, he knew what was up. So he was very good at escalating all those different things. So he didn't need it. And as you get more advanced, you can start throwing those things out. But it still had somewhat of respect for her, in the sense where, because if you just go like, hey, show up at my house, she's going to be like, fuck you. But if he's going like, look, man, I really want to take you out, but this is really important, and I don't want to cancel on you because you're important to me. Like, can we just meet at my house? And then if I get it, we're taking off. We're going to fucking Cowboys, Red River. We're going to have a great time or whatever bullshit, right? So what would happen is she'd meet at his house. They'd talk. They'd watch something. He'd mess around with some computer stuff. And it was very casual. So the cool part about it is, and this actually isn't in the webinar, is that the cool part about it is she shows up at the house. He's halfway busy. He's doing his work. He's in his own moment, but he's also caring about her. So it's a weird environment. It's like, no, man, we're going to do it. We're going to have fun. But also I'm not pushing too hard. I'm also working at the same time and keeping track of this. And that's important. Even though it does take away from that experience of the date, it gives a certain sort of carefreeness to it where there's not a lot of pressure on her sexually, but there is the acknowledgement of like, you are important to me and I'm trying to make it work. Man, it just sets it up. And then they'd watch like some sort of movie and he'd put the moves on him somehow, or get the kiss, right? Get the kiss. If you can get the kiss, you can get the clothes, especially if you're at your house. All right. The second dating template, so we're going a little bit out of order, is mine. And this is the pre-date. And it's awesome. It's basically what I think everybody should do. This is the fucking shit. This will cut everything down like so tight. So normally if we met a girl, and let's say if we met her in the club and then we were trying to get an SNL and get sex fast, because that's like the pickup school that I came from back in like 2006 and 7, is that's what we wanted. That would take about 4 hours, right? So from meeting them to having sex with them was 4 hours. That was the average time that it took. Sometimes it was quicker, but usually it's about that time. It's not usually longer than that. So what I was thinking is like, man, I don't want to, like, I'd be going to bed at like 5 a.m. or something. It's horrible, man. And if you have sex that lasts a long time, it's even later, right? It fucking sucks, right? So anyway, that all being said, I wanted to have something efficient where I met a girl and I wasn't trying to do the SNL thing because I wanted to get some sleep, or I wanted to do something else, or go home to my girlfriend and or whatever the fucking deal was. And the thing is that I wanted something a little bit more efficient. And so what I realized was that women had a lot of resistance about meeting up on a date, and there was this expectation of sex. But they all wanted to have sex. Once you had sex with them, it was good. It was a great thing, right? But they had this expectation that they had to have sex in these ways. So I set up the pre-date, and this is very simple. As we talk, we meet them, and I want to take away all the threat of sex, all the threat of that expectation, and give them the opportunity and choice, intent, choice, right? You choose, woman. Hopefully this is something that you like, and we can have a mutual agreement, because I want to see the real them, right? So basically they would live somewhere in Austin. I'd say like, hey, I live off of South First. I live by Sugar Mama's. I'm going to pick you up a cupcake, and you seem like a red velvet or whatever it was, right? That was basically there because they have a changing selection there. So I'd pick up this cupcake and I'd go like at some point, I'm like, where do you work? All right, when's your break? I'll meet you on your break. Okay, great. Meet them on their break. It's a time constraint. They can't take long. And I'd go and give it to them, and I'd be like, oh no, man, I just wanted to see you like in your normal habitat, or me in my normal habitat, not when we're out at the club or however I met you. And originally I came up with this was online, because you don't know who you're meeting online. So I'd give them the cupcake and I'd say, cool, man. Yeah, totally. I'd probably have a good conversation about something, do some cycles. I mean, I can't not do cycles, and, open them up a little bit. And we both walk away from that going like, you know what? You seem cool. I would love to go out with you, because now there wasn't any pressure. All right, so I took away all the pressure of all the shit which fucks up dates. I took all of that away. All right, so I took that away, like your expectation, you showing up, you getting ready, you having all this, pressure of how you act and who you have to be. And I wanted to give it as normal of an experience as possible for fucking 15 minutes on their lunch break or whatever it was. And then I said, let's go out Friday. So we meet up on Friday. God, man, it was the easiest setup ever. So when I set this up, it would basically be like, we meet up on Friday, we go to dinner. In between that time, let's say I dropped it off on Wednesday, 2 days prior. I drop it off on Wednesday. She's thinking about, she goes through all the resistance about the date, all the pressure about the date, all this other stuff, and going like, oh man, he seems nice enough, he seems good enough, or whatever, that goes, all that resistance talk she's having when I'm not there, because when you're on a real date, that resistance talk is in real time, right? And then, man, our date would be like, I don't know, an hour, 90 minutes, and then we'd be having sex. It was like such an easy thing to set up. This is awesome. If you have a lot of people, this would happen all the time because I drive in between Dallas and Austin all the time. And I'd stop at the check stop. I'd pick up like 20 kolaches, and I'd be messaging all these girls on OkCupid or whatever it was, Match. I'd be like, where are you? I'm traveling down. Are you in North Austin? Okay, I'll get you on the way down because I'm in South Austin. I'd just drop all this shit off. I'd hit like 5 or 6 of them up, and then I'd have a weekend full of meeting them and talking to them or whatever. And the thing is like it's not just to have sex with them. It's like to see if they are normal people, if they are people that you would actually like. And then you can actually have choice in your life and not a fucking reaction. It's a great, great thing. So this is all here. This was a quick guide that we gave away for, 2014, 2013. We made a webinar on it. You should definitely check it out. It's in the membership site and easy to access to you all the time. And you can definitely get it in. Also in the membership site is Formula 69. And in Formula 69, there's also this. This is great. Get the date, get the kiss. And really those were written and produced with the idea that you watch the previous 4 videos to it, because it sets up all the different rapport and transitioning and talking to him, so that you can be equipped to get that date. Because if you can get rapport, you can get a date. All right. And but you got to get rapport in this way. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful and beneficial for you guys, and shows you a little bit more of how to use the insane amount of material that is in the membership site so that you can better your life.